This is Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you overcome perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson. I'm a life coach in Portland, Oregon, and I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we're talking about letting holidays be easy.
We're recording this right after Thanksgiving, so I have to ask, I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving.
I had an excellent Thanksgiving.
Good, me too.
It was, You did?
Oh, always. I love Thanksgiving, and I don't cook, so so it's always nice.
Yeah, that makes it much more pleasant.
Yeah.
I cooked for 36 this year. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
That sounds very impressive.
It wasn't that impressive, but it was a good way to celebrate.
Good.
But so let's talk about holidays. And so when people are listening to this, we'll be at the beginning of December, and I think it'll be the middle of Hanukkah. Mm-hmm. And Christmas will be coming up. And we wanted to share some ideas to help people have less stress and enjoy the holiday season more. And your favorite mantra, let it be easy.
That's right. It can be such a stressful time for so many people. I see that in my clients. And I always feel like anything we can do to make it less stressful makes it obviously a lot more enjoyable.
Right. Well, so what kind of things come up with your clients? Like, how do they get, what are the things that they're doing that are stressing them out?
Well, it seems like there's all sorts of shoulds, right? I should have a tree, or I should have 3 trees, or I should have a big dinner, and I should declutter the Christmas decorations, and so the lists of things that they are stressing out about typically is long. I mean, there are just so many things that people do for the holidays, like tipping people, or bringing gifts to their kids' teachers, or throwing a holiday party, that when you add them up, they're just so much work. And I always encourage people to consider that they don't have to do everything. And that pick the things that they enjoy doing most, and perhaps letting it stop there. But it's all easy for me to say because I don't celebrate Christmas, so I don't do any of it. All I do is send out holiday cards, which I love doing. So it's from the outside looking in, it seems like most people could take it easier than they do.
Yeah. Well, so you grew up celebrating Christmas.
Yes.
Was it difficult when you stopped doing that? Just out of curiosity? I mean,
no.
Was it, you were just like, woohoo!
Yeah, my husband's Jewish, and he doesn't enjoy Christmas at all. So he suggested that we not celebrate it, I guess. I'm just remembering that 30 some odd years ago, I put some Christmas lights on a lamp, I think.
Oh.
And that was sort of the end of it. So no, it doesn't, because I like the ease of not celebrating Christmas. One year we had a tree, and that was a lot of work. Getting it out was a lot of work. So it works nicely for us. And as I say, I do send out holiday cards, and I do give gifts to my family members. So I have a little bit, but there's absolutely no decorating that happens.
Oh, that is like basically the big stress I think that so many people feel, is like all the extra stuff that feels like part that you have to do for Christmas.
Right, the decorating, and of course the gift giving is stressful too for many people.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. Definitely. definitely. But I like your idea of, sort of thinking through all of the things you want to do and then picking a doable amount and doing those as opposed to trying to do everything you feel like you should be doing.
Right. That's certainly what makes sense to me. I know that expectations from children complicate things. It's hard for kids to not do what they're accustomed to doing. But
right.
Hopefully those are things you enjoy doing. And therefore might not get cut from the list.
Yeah. Although I think it's also good to remember with kids that much of what we spend time doing is forgotten almost immediately.
Right.
So, think about the things that really matter even with the kids. The traditions, if you want to have traditions that go on through the year, you don't have to have 3 or 5 things that you do every year. Have a couple of things.
Mm-hmm. Right, and like so many things, the fewer you have, the more special they are. I mean, certainly that's true of objects, and I guess
right.
it would be true of traditions as well, potentially.
Yeah, I think so. But one of the things that gets people into trouble is, like you said, are the shoulds, and I think those are, it used to be you'd like get magazines and the magazines would all be coming out, like the Christmas issues would all be coming out like in the middle of November or whatever, and then it'd be like, oh, I need to decorate this, and I need to make this thing, and I need to have a cookie party, and I need to do blah blah blah, and like do all of this stuff, and you end up putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Right, cookie party. Wow, I didn't even know. I'm not sure I knew there was such thing as a cookie party.
Well, there is, and it's actually can be something that is both a fun event and a time saver. Everybody makes a certain number of cookies, mm-hmm. and then you get together and you exchange them, so then you have a variety of cookies, but you only had to make one kind.
Got it. And people like to have a variety of cookies because they serve cookies at Christmas time?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Actually, now that you explained it to me, I went to one of those once. My knitting group had one once.
Oh, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So I ended up with a variety of cookies, but my cookie that I make is my favorite cookie. So it didn't really benefit me.
Because you just wanted your favorite cookie.
Want my cookie, yeah.
But if you were in the habit of entertaining a lot over the holidays, then it would be nice to have a variety of cookies.
Yeah.
If more people than you were eating cookies.
Right. I totally see the benefit. And that's nice. Right. And as long as it's fun and it's not a big drag, that's excellent.
Right. But if you're a person who likes to have a lot of sweets around for when you are entertaining, then that would actually be a really fun way to spend some time over the holidays with friends and, have something to entertain for the rest of the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, for the rest of the season.
Right. That's great.
Yeah. And you don't have to, make a whole bunch of different kinds of cookies yourself.
Right. But I think I took us on a tangent because you were mentioning the magazines.
Oh, I was just talking about so now people are bombarded with so much. What were you talking about before we started recording? Oh, blogs and Pinterest and mm-hmm. and like it's so much easier to sort of create this dream holiday experience online and then feel the pressure to try to bring that to life mm-hmm. When right. It's really probably not at all possible. Right.
No such thing as a perfect Christmas, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah. So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Well, most people put a lot of pressure on themselves. Or many people do anyway, yeah. Especially perfectionists.
Right. I think that perfectionists, this is one of the most difficult times of the year for perfectionists.
Yeah.
Because you want to get, there's so many layers of things that you want to get right.
Mm-hmm. And so many moving parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on if you don't actively manage it.
Mm-hmm. So how do you let the holidays be easy?
I do my best to let them be easy. I've gotten much better over the years. One of the things that I do this with Thanksgiving every year, and we may be having lots of family that we have Thanksgiving with, or we may have a year where this year where it's just my husband and I. But before I go into it, sort of knowing what the situation is going to be in terms of family, I think about, what kind of Thanksgiving do I want to have this year? How do I want to feel? What do I want the experience to be like? And sort of purposefully going through that process has really helped me have Thanksgivings that I love that have been really very, very different from each other. So a few years ago, it was one of those years where there wasn't going to be family really getting together. And my husband, who was then my boyfriend, we went on a long, quiet hike, and we ended up having Thanksgiving dinner at the only place we could find open, which was a truck stop Popeyes restaurant.
Well, that's memorable.
Yeah. So, and then we actually recreated that another year. It was sort of a fun tradition where we took we were taking the kids up to Timberline, the mountain lodge on Mount Hood, and on Christmas Day, and so we stopped at Popeyes for our holiday lunch there because it was the only place that was open. But so we've done that, and then we've had either hosted or attended big family dinners where we might have anywhere from 10 to 20 people. And then this last Thanksgiving, a couple days ago, it was just going to be Mike and I, and so we thought about what we wanted to do, and we wanted to take the opportunity to give back a little bit, and so that's how we ended up cooking for 35. We made a big Thanksgiving dinner and portioned it out into takeout boxes and handed them out to homeless people in the area.
Oh my goodness, that's so wonderful. Did you hand them out to people on the street?
Yeah, Portland has thousands of people living on the streets right now, and so there are tents. They literally have tents or tarps or whatever they can find to get out of the elements. And Thanksgiving Day was a pretty nasty day here in Portland, and so we just drove to the areas where we knew people were camping, and then asked if anyone needed a hot meal or wanted a hot meal, and then handed them out meals with napkins and salt and pepper and utensils, and then we also included a bottle of water and a pair of socks with each meal.
Wow, that's lovely. I bet that was so appreciated.
It was, and it was really, it was a nice way to help people out, and it was interesting. We had a lot of opportunity to talk about this, and I don't think it's the kind of thing that makes any difference in sort of with the bigger problem. It's not going to change the big problem we have, but I think it is a nice way to have some compassion and help not even help, but to offer something to people who could really use it.
Right.
In the moment.
Right, and I'm sure it made you feel good and made you feel grateful, as Thanksgiving does anyway, for all your everything that you have.
Yeah, but it also it also made me think, like, you know what? We actually need to be doing more. Mm-hmm. Right. But it really gave us the opportunity to be thankful and, help share in our good fortune, help share our good fortune, and do something for other people. Mm-hmm. So,
well, the thing that struck me when you were talking was that your Thanksgiving is variable depending upon the availability of family members and so forth. And I love that you don't take those years where family's doing other things and feel bad about it, right? You instead do something special. We did something very special this year, and eating at a Popeyes is extremely special.
Have you had their biscuits?
No.
They're unbelievable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're really good.
Huh. Good to know. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, and frankly, this started because I had some Thanksgivings that I was sort of bummed out about, where they didn't, go the way I thought they should go. Mm-hmm. And so I realized, like, wait a minute, I have a choice here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so what do I want to choose? And it's interesting, like, how many people are sort of surprised about that. And then a lot of people were like, you could have come to our Thanksgiving. It's like, well, appreciate that. And this is what we wanted to do. So it's not, it's a little hard to do something against the grain, against sort of
societal tradition.
An expectation, but it feels really good to do it. And, even when we just went on a hike and ate at Popeyes, and, people were like, why didn't you come there? Well, this is what we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So, being willing to sort of go against that societal pressure or expectation, it can make a big difference for you. Can really help. Mm-hmm. You feel good about, what you do on the holidays. So you be you on the holidays. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that, like, things like gift giving and cards and decorating and so forth can be, especially gift giving, I think, well, cards too, can be really stressful if you get all perfectionistic about buying the exact right gift or writing the perfect newsletter to go in your holiday cards. And I think that, especially maybe with cards, that embracing good enough, is great. And in fact, you can embrace good enough to the point where you don't even have to send out cards if you don't want to. Because certainly I enjoy doing it and I enjoy receiving them, but there's no, to me, that's like one of the things I would drop if I had a long list of things to do. Right. It's all about what's important to you, right? Yep. Yeah. But I know I see with my clients, well, and I experience it myself, that things that were given to me as a gift, even if the gift was not a perfect gift, are really hard to let go of. Yes. I'm surprised. I would be surprised if we hadn't already talked about this in the podcast. I don't remember if we did, but I talk about it all the time. So the nice thing is that clutter-free gifts, like gifts of an experience, are usually easier to acquire or give than other gifts that you have to go to a store to buy and pick out. Right. Well, and don't we have someone who has an idea for us on clutter-free gifts?
Yes. My niece Miranda, who is visiting from Australia, has an idea.
Oh, hi, Miranda.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Cold.
Excellent. Yeah, it is cold there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really cold.
Today was a cold one.
I hear you have an idea for us on clutter-free gift giving.
I do, which is something that my family's done for a number of years now that I think works just great. There's a number of organizations. The organization I often go through is Care International, that offer, you can give a charitable gift for Christmas, which doesn't involve any physical gift. But it would be, for example, you can give someone in India a goat, and goats provide milk for the family, which can provide some income over time. And then the charity will send you a little card explaining what the gift is and why it will make a difference to that family's life. And you can pass that on to your loved one and say that you gave a family a goat on their behalf. And there's lots of different options. So, for example, my dad's a teacher, and I know he cares about education. So one year I gave a bunch of school books on his behalf. And it was personalized to him in a way, but of course didn't mean that he was cluttering up his office with books.
Right, right. Oh, that's such a great idea.
You're a
I
genius.
love that idea.
Yeah, I think it's really nice.
It is. It's nice, and so you're not giving something to somebody that they then sort of have to manage or feel bad about getting rid of if it's not something that they love, and you're really helping someone else out.
Yeah, exactly. And don't they say the best gift is giving? So you're also helping that other person feel better about, they get the feeling of having given to someone as well.
Yeah. I've done something similar to that in the past. I don't know if you're familiar with Kiva, which is a micro-lending organization.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, so you can get basically gift certificates for Kiva. Like 1 year, I gave all my nieces and nephews like a $25 gift certificate to Kiva, which they could then choose who they wanted to loan the money to. And then after the money's paid back, they could withdraw it, or they could loan it to someone else. So it was a nice way that they could keep giving if they wanted to, or, they were young. If they wanted to pull it out and buy something, they could do that too. But They had to delay that gratification a little bit, and in the meantime, got to help somebody else.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I love that idea.
And it teaches them a lesson about giving and about microloans, and it's a big win-win.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I think another year also, I just went there's a website called Give Well that looks at different charities that they rate to be some of the most, I guess, effective, and chose different charities for different family members that I donated on their behalf, that I thought they would be interested in those charities. And then in some cases, actually, family members continued to donate because they found those charities to be really interesting in what they were doing. One was being a microfinance company, so that's what, or organization, that's what reminded me.
Well, that's such a great idea, because you're not only giving a gift in their name, but you're introducing them to a charity that they might otherwise not find out about or know about, so that they can continue to give. That's brilliant. Love that idea. That's great.
Well, thanks,
Thank you.
Miranda. Thanks
No
for
problem.
popping in for some wisdom from another generation.
And for another continent.
Right, another continent.
Also true. No, thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, those are some great ideas.
Yeah, she's a smart one, that Miranda.
She is.
Yeah,
She is.
and a charitable young person.
I know. That's great. Well, and there are so many good points to what she said. I mean, what we also didn't talk about is actually how easy that is. Like, you could do all your quote unquote holiday shopping sitting at your computer in, an hour or two.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you can not worry about presenting the gift in a fancy way, right? I mean,
right.
You can definitely let that be easy. And another way I sometimes do gift giving is to make a date. Rather than exchanging a gift, I'll go out, make a date to go out to lunch, in January or something. If you lived in St. Louis or I lived in Portland, it's totally what I would want to do with you, Shannon.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, we'd be doing that anyway.
All the time, right? It wouldn't really yeah. Or, I gave a gift recently of a very close friend. I I organized his yard sale. It's his
right.
birthday gift.
That is a very generous gift.
Well, thank you. Yeah. We had a good time. But yeah, so if you have a service that you, or a talent that you can share with a friend as a gift, that's another great way to give a gift. And you can deliver the actual service after the holidays are over.
Right. That's a great idea. So you sort of give a gift certificate for your service later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get, as an aside, around Christmas time, get inquiries from people, typically daughters or husbands, wanting to buy my services, give a gift certificate for their loved one for Christmas. And I always say, are you sure they want this? Have they, because it's a little like giving a gift of a membership to Weight Watchers. And
right.
They say, yeah, she wants it. And so what I've learned to do now is I say, okay, great. And I send them a gift certificate without collecting any money. And then and tell them, when your person calls me to schedule the appointment, then I will contact you to collect the money. And because I don't want to be in a position to have to refund money.
Right.
And you know what? I would say less than half of those gift certificates are redeemed.
Really?
Uh-huh. You really got to want to work with an organizer in order to make it worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is a gift that people can give, is a service of somebody else, not necessarily your own, something that you're sharing of your own talents. But you could give a gift certificate to some sort of service provider, like, a manicure or an organizing session or a life coaching session.
Right. I think that's a great idea. And like you said, depending on the service, you want to make sure that it is going to be received in the spirit that it's being given.
Right. That could make for an ugly gift exchange.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Well, those are all good ideas to help make gift giving be easy. Mm-hmm. Wait, did that make sense?
Yes.
I think so. I think all those words together made sense.
Yeah, I think so. It made sense to me.
But I sort of want to go back to, when we talked about how to sort of choose your top priorities and stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that is useful to do, and I know in the past we've talked about, how to figure out what's important to you, why something matters and what about it matters to you. That's really useful to do for any particular holiday, to choose a word or a phrase that captures the essence of what you want for the season, and to keep coming back to it and use it as a guidepost to help you make choices and prioritize things as time goes on. So, for instance, if your word is connection, then, you can sort of brainstorm all the possible things you could do and then pick a few things that help you have more connection and let go of the things that don't bring you more connection.
That's a wonderful idea, and your word might change from year to year.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. It's sort of like the thing that I do with Thanksgiving is, I think about like, when all is said and done, how will I feel like I had a good Thanksgiving? So, when all is said and done, how would you like to feel after Christmas? What's the feeling that you want to experience for Christmas?
And that can help guide what is important, what is good enough for you for the season, or at least give you prioritize. I think that's a great idea. And it's so easy to remember a certain word or your magic word for the season and come back to it, carry it around with you.
Yeah. Well, and it's always good to have like a little not cheat sheet because it's just a word, but that little guidepost, that shortcut to remembering what it is that you really want.
A little bit like that word of the year that we talked about a while back.
Yeah. Exactly. But for a more focused event or period of time. And then to allow yourself to let the other stuff go. Or maybe, you brainstorm that list and you sort of put it in the order of prioritize it based on what gives you the most of your word that you want, and, accomplish those things one at a time and move through the list in a way that helps you, feel calm, and so you can enjoy the season and not feel stressed out and just work through it, and you get as far as you get.
And give yourself permission to not get it all done. But know that you've done the things that are important to this year's theme.
Right.
Well, and I think that
theme, that is the word I've been trying to think of. And there it just rolled off your tip of your tongue, just like nothing.
But I think a key to help letting it be easy and letting you ease through your list after you've made it is giving yourself enough time, right? And I know this is airing on December 6th, so ideally, if we were trying to give ourselves a lot of time, we might have done this sooner, but it's only right after Thanksgiving here now. But I know that, for example, I with my cards, I do business and personal. I'm working on the business ones now, and I have about 150 to do, and I've just been doing 15 a day. And I write on the back of them, right? That's all I have to do. But 15 a day, so that's no big deal. And I don't wait until right before Christmas and then have 150 cards to do. So that feels nice.
Well, and you're coming fresh off of your postcard writing, so you're like in the habit.
That's right. It's true. It feels perfectly natural to sit down with a nice pen and some cards and write. Yep. And I just ordered our personal ones yesterday, so that's only about 65. So I'll do that after I get back from my trip to see my dad. So anything, any to the extent that you're able to start thinking about the holidays earlier, that I think will help make them easier. It does extend them, but
well, and that's one of the problems I've run into. Have a tendency to not really care about Christmas until right before Christmas. And I'm like, oh my God, I love Christmas. And then I try to do everything in a few days. And I feel super stressed. So this year I'm trying to get in the spirit of things a little earlier. I actually listened to Christmas music today. Wow. We have a radio station that starting the day after Thanksgiving, they play Christmas music. Luckily, it's also the 80s station, so they play like sort of hip Christmas music. So I listened to that, and I made myself keep it on. I kind of wanted to turn it off. But then after the first song, then I sort of got into it a little bit, and I felt myself like getting sort of excited about Christmas and starting to, think about the things that I wanted to do, and it really sort of started priming me to really think about how I wanted Christmas to be this year.
Give yourself some time, right? Have you come up with your theme?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no. Oh no, I have not come up with my theme yet.
But you will.
But you know, I'm listening to Christmas music now is helping me like get in the spirit so that I can come up with my theme. Because normally it's like, oh, I have plenty of time, you know, Christmas, why does everyone start so early? And then it's like, oh my God, it's almost here.
Right. Good for
so
you.
So I'm just trying to, you know, sort of this, it's like your 15 cards a day, just, you know, a little bit every day, easing into it. And I think I'll pick a theme in the next week or so.
Great. Well, I hope it's very easy, the whole thing, and I suspect just having had this conversation will make it easier for you because you'll be thinking about keeping it easy.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing, all I do is cards, right? So I have to go back to cards. But one thing that I started doing a few years ago that has made card giving so much easier for me is I started using minted.com. I think there are many services like this, but I use Minted, which you can choose a beautiful card design. It's designed by independent artists and designers, and you can use a photo or not. And if you upload a spreadsheet of your contact list, they'll address the envelopes for you in a beautiful way. So that part's so nice. And then, like this morning, I just updated my address list for the personal cards. Didn't take very long, and it was done. So, you know, when I come back from my trip, my envelopes will be addressed. All I have to do is write on the cards and put a stamp on them, and it's done. And with the personal cards, we use a photo. I uploaded my photo, and then I got to see my photo in all their designs.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so I'm sure Minted isn't the only game out there for that, but it's the one I chose a number of years ago. And I mean, I used to do really laborious craziness with holiday cards involving glue dots and paper cutters and stuff. And I don't do that anymore.
No, and I can corroborate that minted.com is fantastic. I haven't used them for holiday cards, but we use them for our wedding invitations.
Oh, that's right. They were beautiful.
And they, you know, to have them addressed and everything was so awesome. Mm-hmm. It made everything so much easier, and they looked beautiful. And you can pick different fonts and that, you know, look like script or whatever, and it was nice. And they do make it very easy. Yeah.
With the holiday cards, they have a design font and stuff a design that matches the card itself if you want, or you can go off and pick your own. I always take the one because I don't want to have to choose. But yeah, so they're terrific. We'll put a link to them on the show notes. But any service like that just takes a few steps out of the process, I think is great.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else you want to say about how to let the holidays be easy?
I'll go back to you be you and just try not to let external pressures make you miserable in the holiday season, and think about why you're celebrating and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I'll just echo that with, you know, put away the blogs and the magazines and Pinterest and the dreams of a perfect holiday, because there's no such thing, and to have the celebration that's right for you, and have a good enough holiday season.
We're not saying Merry Christmas, we're saying good enough Christmas.
Yeah. Have a good enough New Year.
That's what my holiday card should have said.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a good enough New Year. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we would love to hear your ideas on how you made the holidays easy, or how you let the holidays be easy. And you can leave us a voicemail at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. You can head over to our website, gettingtogoodenough.com, and comment on our show notes, or access any of our social media profiles there. And we would love to hear from you.
Yes, indeed.
But for now, thank you for listening. This is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope Good Enough is getting easier for you.